Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump. That's what y'all did. Those people didn't even get paid to do that. That's crazy. The wordplay that the GOP specifically used in Florida, especially Miami, on Venezuelans and Cubans is unreal. They told you guys that they're only going after the criminals. You guys are the criminals. When you come to this country illegally, that's the crime. But what you do is you seek asylum because you're saying you're running away from a very bad government. But you still have to get here to seek asylum. And when you seek asylum, you give your name, where you're living, where you're working. That's how this works. So that's what they did. They didn't go around trying to find a bunch of illegal immigrants everywhere because that's difficult to do. Apart from the farms and the construction sites, it's hard to find illegal immigrants in the country. They don't leave a paper trail. But people that seek asylum do. And that's why they went to y'all houses in Miami and picked y'all up because they knew where you were at. Your paperwork wasn't completed. But hey, I will vote for Donald Trump. You voted for your people to get deported because he don't give a shit what you look like. Y'all could look white, you can have the proximity to whiteness, but you are from Cuba and he don't give a shit. So thoughts and deportations. Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump. Y'all stand 10 toes down in your vote. Don't start bitching now.
Guys, Donald Trump has been trying to deport y'all since 2016. He called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. And 60% of Latinos voted for him. Oh, what the?
He didn't say that, and if he did, he didn't mean it, and if he did, it's not illegal, and if it is, everyone's doing it, and if they're not, she did something way worse.
Why can't we let everyone in? Our border is not your mother. Mass deportation separate families. Well, so does baby mama culture. Mind you, y'all can leave together. Who's going to clean Trump's toilets? People with birth certificates.
Hello guys, and welcome to the Joy Report. In today's video, we're going to talk about MAGA Latinos regretting not listening to black people and now facing deportation. There's a cold wind sweeping through Latino communities across the US, and it's not just fear, it's regret. MAGA Latinos, once loud and proud about their support for DT, are now quietly packing up, calling immigration lawyers, or worse, being rounded up and deported. It's a harsh reality, but one that many could have avoided if they just listened, especially to black people who tried to warn them. Over and over, black Americans raised the alarm, made the connections, and called out the hypocrisy. But those warnings fell on deaf ears. Why? Because for far too many MAGA Latinos, their vote wasn't grounded in community or lived reality. It was based on one-issue politics, anti-blackness, and a desperate desire to be seen as white. If this is the kind of content you enjoy, please consider subscribing, liking and sharing so that YouTube may recommend it to a wider audience. And so now, without further ado guys, let's go straight into this video. But first, let me play you a few videos on this matter and I'll come back with my commentary. As a side note, all credit goes to the creators of these videos.
You're undocumented and you support Donald Trump.
I support Donald Trump for the economy.
Gelasio Velasquez is an undocumented mechanic who has worked in Houston for 25 years.
Oh!
He plays in this park with his 2 U.S. citizen children, ages 5 and 9, and stands by Donald Trump.
So you support Donald Trump because of the economy,
For the economy, yes.
but you don't support the anti-immigrant rhetoric.
I'm not support the anti-immigrant action.
Do you support his mass deportations?
No, it's not human.
Are you afraid that you could be deported in this mass deportation?
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid.
Do you have a plan in case you get deported?
I respect that decision. I leave the country. I'm not come back.
I've seen a lot of Cubans for Trump.
That's unfortunately, I'm not from Cuba, I'm just half Cuban. My dad is Cuban.
Your family's Cuban.
Yeah. Most of my family has been here for a while. We don't have a lot of family there, but the people there are struggling.
I've seen a lot of Cubans for Trump.
That's unfortunately, that comes from the anti-revolution sentiment from Fidel's time.
There is a very popular song for Trump.
Yeah, there is, yeah. It's unfortunate, a lot of them come here and just turn completely capitalist and support Trump because they think it's the whole idea of the American dream. When they start getting deported, then they'll see the regime that he's putting on now.
Latinos for Trump, specifically Miami Cubans for Trump. bring your ass. You bitches on my docket today. Y'all are the definition of political pygmies. You're so eager, like ready, willing, and fucking able to go from one dictator to the fucking next. Now, I know y'all not systematically accustomed to freedom, but trust me, it's a good thing. Now, when it comes to you white presenting Cubans, I can understand, whether it be you naturally look that way or, you got the work done. I can understand your delusion in terms of, having proximity to whiteness and thinking that you're going to get a seat at the table. And while you may get a seat, it is with the expressed understanding that the moment you act familiar, them envelopians gonna put you in your place quick, fast, and in a motherfucking hurry by letting you know that you're simply a guest. But again, you look the part, so I can understand. But it's you Celia Cruz looking motherfuckers that blow me. Have you niggas looked in a fucking mirror? Like, let's keep it a fucking Goya Bean in this bitch. The closest you're getting to a seat at the table is looking at that motherfucker through the window while you cutting the grass. But since y'all think y'all got it like that, let's try a little experiment. When ICE roll up to collect you niggas, Elian Gonzalez style, I want you to look them square in the face. And I want you to say these 5 words to them. I know black eye Cuban. And let me know how the fuck it goes. Send me a postcard with Fidel on the front. And when they send you back home, I hope you can't take shit with you but your fucking MAGA merch. As a permanent reminder that the president you voted for is the same president that sent you fucking packing. For decades, we've been trying to give y'all a wake-up call. I bet now you niggas wish you would have picked up the phone.
This message is, though, for the Cubans for Trump. Actually, for all Latinos for Trump. The Supreme Court just revoked the legal status of 500,000 people from, like, Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, I think, and then somewhere else. So you guys better start packing your shit, because they're coming after you. They don't care that you voted for them. They never cared about you in the first place, dog. We tried to tell you this shit, but you didn't listen. So now they're coming after you. Supreme Court just ruled on it. You guys better start packing, because they're going to either leave on your own terms now at this point, or they're going to come after you. You guys are in danger, and you voted for it. That's the crazy part.
Let's be real. Many of these Latino DT supporters were one-issue voters. For some, it was abortion. Conservative rhetoric pulled them in with religious undertones and promises of family values. They heard DT talking about protecting life and felt connected to that message, completely ignoring the fact that protecting life didn't include their undocumented family members. They fell for the smoke and mirrors, the Bible-wrapped bigotry, and forgot the most obvious truth. Their own kin, many of them are undocumented. They came here to survive, to work hard, to build a future. But somehow, these voters convinced themselves that DT wouldn't come after their people, only the bad ones. Now they're learning there's no much distinction in the eyes of ICE. If you're undocumented, you're a target. Period. Then there's those who voted for DT because they believed in his economic message. They said, it's not about race, it's about jobs, or I care about the economy, not immigration. They bought into the illusion that DT will bring prosperity, create opportunities, and protect small businesses. But what they ignored was that DT's economic policy always had a dark underbelly. His tax cuts favored the rich. His tariffs hurt Latino business owners, and his immigration crackdown meant that entire communities would live in fear. Still, they clung to the fantasy that they were on the right side of the wall. They assumed their proximity to legality, or citizenship, or whiteness would protect them. It didn't. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Racism. A lot of MAGA Latinos didn't just support DT because of religion or economics. Some were attracted to the movement's anti-black, anti-immigrant rhetoric because it made them feel like they belong to something bigger, something white. Let's not sugarcoat it. There are Latinos who have internalized the lie that being lighter, speaking perfect English, and aligning with whiteness somehow makes them superior. They saw DT targeting black communities, Muslim immigrants, and refugees, and felt comforted that the spotlight wasn't on them. Until it was. Until DACA recipients started getting notices, until ICE started raiding construction sites, farms, and restaurants, until TPAs were stripped away from Cubans, Venezuelans, Hondurans, Salvadorans, and Nicaraguans, until the cage doors opened, and not for photo ops, but for real deportations. The saddest part is, they were warned. Black people saw this coming. Black Americans who spent generations dealing with state violence, voter suppression, systemic racism, and broken promises tried to tell everyone what was really going on. They warned that DT was never going to draw neat lines between legal and illegal immigrants, that once the machinery of white supremacy gets going, it doesn't stop to ask for documentation. It rolls through communities like a wrecking ball. But instead of listening, many MAGA Latinos dismissed those warnings. They called black folks dramatic, accused them of playing the victim, and even looked down on them, thinking their vote made them more American. That delusion is crumbling fast. Now, we're seeing the regret hitting hard. Some of these same Latinos who proudly waved their American flags and wore their Latinos for Trump hats are now crying on social media, begging for help. They're finding out that the administration they empowered has no mercy. Some are watching their family members get deported. Others are realizing their temporary protections are being revoked. And many are finally waking up to the truth that MAGA was never for them. It was never going to make America great for immigrants. It was always about exclusion, about drawing lines, building walls, and deciding who's American enough to stay.
So I'm coming for Latinos for Trump every day, every time. When I can, I'm doing it. Because the Republican budget plan just came out, and where's the no tax on tips? Not there. Where's the no tax on overtime? Not there. No tax on income. Not there either. You know what is there? Tax cut for the rich. Lowest there's ever been. But you bozos who kept screaming that he was going to do so much for the economy, that he was a businessman. He's a scammer. And we tried to tell you that he was not for you. Okay? So that just goes to show you, and I hope you're going to learn so many lessons. And they're going to be difficult ones. And we're not going to hold your hand while you learn them. All right? Te calmas o te calmo, like at 100. So you guys enjoy this. Have fun with that.
What's wild is that DT told them exactly what he was going to do. He said he'd deport the illegals. He'd say he'd end DACA. He said he'll build a wall. He didn't lie. He said it all out there. But too many MAGA Latinos thought he wasn't talking about them or their families. They thought they'd be spared because they were different, because they voted, because they didn't look like the stereotype. But the system doesn't care. Once the deportation machine starts running, it doesn't stop to ask if you went to church on Sunday or if you support the troops. It doesn't care if you voted Republican or if you believe in the American dream. It just sees brown skin, a Spanish last name, and an undocumented status. And that's the painful irony. MAGA Latinos thought they could weaponize their vote to climb the social ladder. They thought they were aligning with power, but in reality, they were disposable. Their vote was used, their voice was manipulated, and their families are paying the price. Now, they're realizing that black people, who they often ignored, dismissed, or talked down to, were right all along. Black people weren't being paranoid, they were being prophetic. They've seen this before. They know what happens when fascism gains ground and power gets concentrated in the hands of those who thrive on fear and division. So the question is, what happens next? Will this be a wake-up call? Will Latino communities finally realize that their survival depends on solidarity, not assimilation? Will they finally understand that whiteness will never fully accept them, no matter how much they distance themselves from their roots? Will they start building coalitions with the very communities they once ignored? Black, indigenous, Asian, and undocumented folks who've been fighting the same battles for generations. Because here's the thing, regret won't stop deportation. Tears won't bring families back together. And silence won't undo the damage. But accountability might. Unity might. Listening to the people who tried to warn you, that might make a difference moving forward. So to all the MAGA Latinos who are finally waking up, welcome to reality. It's not too late to do the right thing, but you've got to admit you are wrong. You've got to own the fact that you chose whiteness over your own people, that you believed in a man who told you exactly who he was, and that you ignored the ones who truly had your back. Black people don't have to say, "We told you so." Reality is saying it loud enough for everyone to hear.
I've been joking around about Latinos for Trump over the past few days. It's been all fun and games, but a few of you have actually asked me to explain why Latinos would vote for Trump. And that's a really good question, and there's actually a lot of reasons, so it's time to get real about Latinos for Trump. Let's begin with the conversation of class. Wealthy people tend to lean more Republican because Republicans advocate for lower taxes for the rich. So wealthier Latinos lean more towards Donald Trump. The second reason would be internalized racism and internalized xenophobia, or otherwise known as the pick-me people. The people that say, "My family came here the right way, it's not that that hard. Why can't people just follow the laws? We're not like them. We're different. Those are the people that want to be accepted by white Americans so bad that they will openly bash their community. There's a lot of those people, and those people also tend to lean towards Donald Trump. The third and the biggest reason why I believe there's a lot of Latinos that support Trump is because our community is incredibly conservative. The Catholic and Christian church have a lot of power within our community. Conservative views when it comes to women's health and the LGBTQIA tend to dominate our community. When you put all those things together, it's not that hard to understand why so many Latinos support Trump.
So what do you all think? Do you think MAGA Latinos will ever hold themselves accountable? Will this be the moment they choose solidarity over self-interest? And most importantly, do you think they've learned their lesson, or is it already too late? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I would love to keep this discussion going. Otherwise, that's it from me. I also have another video about Target losing $12 billion in its recent evaluation loss following the boycotts. And if you enjoy such kind of content, please click up here and enjoy. Also, consider subscribing, liking and sharing because it helps me grow my channel. But for now, thank you so much for watching. And until the next time, the Joy Report out.